in my ass.
I just banged your wife?
Name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals, and you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.
What's up, Impact Wrestling? Let's make some noise!
Sitting here, you guys got a 15-minute intro of putting yourselves over while I'm sitting here and watching J-Bone and Kaylon and you 50. I never saw a 15-minute intro of three guys putting themselves over.
This is the good stuff.
Welcome back, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact. Impact Talk for Impact Fans featured right goddamn here on the TNI Network. This is Tyrell, my co-host, J-Bone and Bill, and this is the Impact Plus Weekly, number 29 for the week of. I think, J-Bone, what was the week, the date range on this one? There's always a weird date range on here. What's the date range on
this
is,
I
think it's October 24th.
Yeah, October 24th is the date of it.
24th to November.
October
1st.
25th to today.
To today, November 1st. Rent day. Rent's due today. Shit. All right. So, welcome, everybody. I just realized something, guys. In our intro, think about this for a second. We have the current Impact Wrestling World Champion. We have one half of the current Tag Team Champions. We have the X Division Champion giving us a shout, a bumper on our show. I just realized that. How about that?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Very nice.
Only TNI has that. Who else has that? I'm telling. Find me another podcast.
It's bittersweet because it's kicked off by the dearly departed John E. Bravo.
Yeah, well, it's the whodunit continues this week on Impact Wrestling. But I'm gentlemen, I am here at Mom and Dad's house. Sunday night is his family night, and I told my dad and I, Bill appreciates this because he's a good Sunday. His old man, so J-Bone is too, but Bill appreciates a good sitcom like me. So me and the old man love watching sitcoms, and I was hanging out here late. We were watching some old '80s sitcoms, which is how we bond. And I was having to leave to do this show. And I said, you know what, Dad? I'm gonna bring the headphones. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cut away. I'm gonna go do the show. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to watch Cheers together when I get back. So I'm going to start doing that on
where everybody
Sunday.
knows your name, Trent.
So it's by the 18th time that my dad and I have watched Cheers together. So, but never gets
now, question is,
yeah,
Diane or Rebecca era?
They both have stuff, but the Diane era has a lot of it. There's a raw feel to the Diane era, which I like. The Rebecca era has some great storylines, though. It was very refined by the Rebecca era. I'm a big fan of the Diane era.
I'm more of a Diane era fan myself.
It had an innocence to it at the time. I gotta say, it had a little innocence to it. But yeah, but Zach Bonner for pointing out that you have the hand. It's Lee Moriarty's hand is right slapping you in the almost. It looks like your hand there, Bill.
It does.
But guys, this is the we're gonna talk Xplosion this week. A little open forum and. Just kind of talk about any news going on, see what you guys want to do. One thing I noticed before we even start, guys, there was no Around the Ring this week.
No Around the Ring. So I assume not until the new tapings will we get new Around the Rings.
I can assure you that there will be new ones on the new tapings. I got a birdie that was maybe flying around David Penzer. That
better not be that one talking to Sean Ross Sapp.
No, absolutely not. No, I can actually.
Yeah, you kid.
There was a good birdie hanging around David Penzer that can assure you there was a new Around the Ring film. So next week we should get it for sure. For sure.
Well, I don't know about next week because there's still a match from the previous set of tapings.
Oh,
there's still Trey Lamar and Ethan.
That's right. They still got to do that one. So
there's probably one more week of Xplosion. The one that will probably go up tomorrow. We'll probably not have Around the Ring again, is my guess. And then we should be good.
Oh, because they're pretty far behind. Yeah, so Around the
Ring. Because this is pre-Bound for Glory Xplosion.
Yeah,
so there's probably one more.
What's the commentary didn't allude to anything Bound for Glory, did it? He kind of played it a little neutral because he wasn't really sure when it aired. Because Josh will adjust the commentary once in a while.
He will adjust the commentary. No, this one he just focused pretty much on the match, so he really didn't reference Bound for Glory. Like the only thing you get is when for the main event, which was the Good Brothers versus the North. That was obviously the original commentary. They didn't adjust that.
You know, speaking of the Good Brothers, J-Bone, the doc today tagged us in a tweet and got us a shit ton of buzz, but accidentally tagged us in a tweet because he was tweeting about something. I guess he had Goldberg on their show today, right?
And it's funny. As soon as I got the notification about that this morning, I actually listened to it. It's you know, sometimes you listen to these podcasts and they're like an hour plus long. This one's short and sweet. The actual interview itself is like less than 20 minutes long. So it's like the whole thing with little advertisements, you know, stuck in there that they, you know, put over stuff to earn their keep too. Whole thing's like an hour and a half. So yeah, it's a quick listen if you want to check it out. It's a nice and it's really interesting. It's like, yeah, they actually go back. You're like, okay, what are two Impact guys? Well, Rocky Romero's not an Impact guy, but yet
he might be. I have a feeling that's going to happen at some point. I think so.
It could. You know,
he's honorary at least right now.
At least, yeah.
It helps with the relationship. You know, building that bridge. You know, it shows that there is a future there, some kind of future there. But you know, they're talking to Bill, and it's a nice little interview, and it actually shows you the character of Bill himself. It's not just some guys cracking beers and telling jokes. No, you actually learn a little bit about the real side of Bill Goldberg, and I was pleasantly surprised today. I gotta say that.
You know, he doesn't really. Bill's never done a shoot interview, has he? Like he never did one of those RF video shoots or like what's the other guy? Oh man, what's that one dude? That's the good stuff. I forgot his name, but he does a really good shoot interviews, the themed out ones. I can't remember his name, but Bill's not really
Chris Van Vliet or
not Van Vliet, but there's that guy. There's that guy who does all those like, you know, who's a hoe and all those like, you know, talking about those.
Oh yes, the bag of hose. Who's a dick or no dick? Yeah.
What's that guy's
Very
name?
shooty. I forget the guy's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty easy to find out there. He goes with a lot of like the 90s, early 2000s.
He's good though.
Stars, and it's all talking shit pretty much.
But he knows his. I forgot his name. It slipped my mind. Anybody in the chat knows what we're talking about. He does his research though. He's not like a real marky kind of. He's very up. He asks the hard questions. He had Dixie on his shoot.
There we go.
One time.
Sean Oliver.
He's good. I like Sean Oliver. He's okay. He definitely.
Oh, it's amusing.
I thought you meant Hannibal there for a second. I can't stand that guy.
I can't say I don't know.
He looks like he's sleeping during his interviews.
Somehow Hannibal got in with
he talks like this, like
Bueller.
Like he's falling asleep on the toilet. You ever fall asleep on the toilet, guys? This is what it sounds like.
I can't believe. I don't know how that guy gets to play. He does, but anyway, let's talk Xplosion real quick, and then we'll talk a little news, and then we will go ahead and open it up. So this was the other feature from one of the rookies, who was brought in by Alex Shelley, right? So it was Lee Moriarty.
Yeah, and their Tiger driver.
And this is part of that little clique that came in with Benjamin. What the hell's his name?
Ben Carter and Trey Lamar.
Ben Carter, and now we have Lee Moriarty taking on Suicide. So Again, I love this part about Xplosion. These like featured super indie guy matches, they've been pretty lengthy matches. They're telling a story in there. I really like this match a lot. I thought, and Jim, give me your thought. I'll go to you first. I thought they got to tell a story, which is so rare in Xplosion matches, or just with a rookie in general. I loved it, man. It
wasn't a squash match. No. I was so pleasantly surprised. Like as soon as we found out that we were getting a new, I'll call it the new breed. We referenced WCW and stuff, you know.
New blood.
New blood. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. But I was pleasantly surprised. Suicide didn't run the ropes for 5 minutes and completely kill this guy. No, they had a great back and forth for like 8 or 9 minutes.
Impressed.
Lee Moriarty got some good offense in and really tricked up Suicide. You know, it's one of the few times where Suicide looked like he was not stumbling, but like ooh, you know, he had to shift up his game. Like it wasn't as much. And Josh even says this, credit to him during this. He says that he picks more ground-based wrestling style in this one as opposed to more high flying, you know? So
that's what Lee Moriarty is. He's much more ground-based, technical, similar to like a Jonathan Gresham, former Suicide.
Which I like because you keep just by default. How about you guys? I'm thinking you guys in the chat too. By default, it ends up just being like the new guys are all just high flyers. They're all spot guys. And when you get a guy who's a ground-based guy, you're like, well, that's kind of a nice change of pace. Like he's a technical guy, you know. And you're just automatically think he's gonna be a speed spot guy, but he's not. He was a storyteller. I like this guy a lot. I could see this guy coming in and really going toe to toe with a few of the guys in Impact right now. This guy could do something for sure.
This is absolutely the guys that you want to start looking at for the future of the X division. I mean, I watched this guy. I played this match back a couple times, like really studying it.
Really? Okay.
Man, this totally reminded me of a young Rich Swann. Some of his stuff that he did.
Yeah, I felt that vibe too, man. I really felt that vibe too. Because Swann's the kind of guy, which we see more now, right, Bill? Like, he's the kind of guy. He can go high. He can fly high. He can ground game you, and the story he can tell that story. He can.
He's a 5-tool player.
Totally 5-tool player. Swann. You can see why Swann's a world champion right now. And honestly, the guy is such a good storyteller. Lee Moriarty had those hints today, and I was like, I would love to see this guy at Impact at some point. Maybe go a couple more reps on the Indies, do another half a year, maybe 8 months, get real polished up. Come back in. Let's see what we can do. This could be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I mean, well, you know, Ben Carter's gone from what we hear. So, but you know, it's and it's great exposure for a young guy like this. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, this was a great match. This wasn't some squash match in 4 minutes just for the sake of putting a match on Xplosion. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this a lot.
Bill, did you see Lee Moriarty in any of the collective stuff that you were
Yeah, he did a lot of matches in the collective. I saw him a few times before that. He worked beyond NGCW already.
Oh, he did?
So he's been around. Probably Lee Moriarty a dozen times already.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you have a good perspective on this kid. Okay. This guy.
Yeah, like he's definitely a talent. Honestly, out of the ones they brought in, and not a knock against them, they're all very talented. He might be my number one choice, Lee Moriarty. I think he has a tool set there, and he's got something. Now, the one thing is, obviously, with the indies, you don't get to see promos and things like that, so you don't know where he is in that part of the game, but he has a good presence so far. But beyond that, don't really know. So that's to be determined, but hey, that's what you work on if you need to.
That's one of the things where, and not to toot AAW's horn too much here, but that's one of the things we do. We do promos. And if you guys follow the AAW Pro account, one thing we like to do for the indie guys is they don't get promo time. It's a great point Bill brought up. These guys really don't get promo time. And they're kind of shocked when we say, hey, we're going to get a cut of promo. We're going to get a promo on tape with you. We want to see what you got because that's how you get better. And this is the kind of guy, I'd love to see what he has in promos because a lot of people do tell us, I'll be producing, like there was a guy, Braden Lee. We did a promo with him. I don't know if anybody's heard of this new kid, Braden Lee. and this kid's going to be a star. Like he's got something, and he's like, man, I never get to do this. I don't get to cut too many promos. Like it's very rare for me. For me personally, if I'm Impact, I know resources are what they are, but if I got a new guy coming in, it's like, you know what, give me 30 seconds, get it on tape, brand me have something on tape with that guy to say, yeah, he was here and he cut a promo for us. Because you never know what can happen.
Yeah, worst case in a hidden gem section, it isn't just a match. You get a little bit of where were they back then? Like with the throwback, it's like, look where AJ started and look where he kind of evolved into. It's like, early on.
That's what I'm saying. Like you get something where you can just put in the hidden gems, put in the vault, because the vault is priceless at this point. You start getting they would have had Benjamin Carter. Like they could have really branded like, yeah, we had him fucking first. We had him first. they could have had a promo from. Who knows? Like it's a way of saying, like, when they put that hidden gems thing out on Impact Plus, and you got like Nakamura in there and Seth Rollins and Tyler Black's in there, and John Moxley's in there. Like they're all these guys who were there 10 years ago at Impact. They're like, yeah, they didn't sign them, but it's like, hey, we saw something in them back then. It's kind of cool to show that. Now, imagine you also had a promo to go with that stuff. Kind of nice, So
it's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. But that was a good match. Suicide does win. A veteran. He's a veteran video game character. He's 12 years old now. He's got a 12-year-old career, so he gets the win on this one.
Well, I tell you, that AC's looking better and better, man.
Great. It's looking slim, looking cut. He showed up at AEW on Thursday. He was a surprise show up on AEW. So he was there, and so it's looking good. He did a 4 at Braden Lee, Cody Lane, and oh man, slipped my mind who the fourth guy was. Oh, Travis Titan. Yeah. So good match. It was fun.
And if you want to hear a review of that one, you can head on over to Smash This Podcast.
Jay Bone was kind of do a review of that show. Thank you. No Around the Ring on this episode. Now I went back and watched last week's too, because I was out of town when you guys did it. No Around the Ring last week either. Last week I know Around the Ring.
Yeah, probably next week. Though probably 3 weeks. It sounded like. I know Penzer. He listens to this show a lot. I think he can. I guess it's never known what will go to the air, but I think it's fairly accurate that we won't get it next week, but we may get it the week after that.
Yeah, I think we find after next week, but Dave,
because then it'll be new tapings, because we know they're still in the can. Trey Lamar versus Ethan.
Yes, yeah. Penzer was telling, Dave was kind of to tell me that he's like, I want you to just show you firsthand. This is a lot harder. You guys are wanting more out of this, but it's tricky to get these on tape sometimes, to pin these guys down for a 15-minute block to get them on tape. So it's not as hard, but we will be getting some new ones. He is doing some great stuff. And Penzer is a busy guy, man. He works extremely hard down there. And I often forget though, like, this is something that slips my mind sometimes, because we're so used to seeing him now. But and he's a friend of the show. I'm so honored that he listens to our show. And but it's like, man, David Penzer has been around in this business for a long fucking time, man. Like he has.
He goes back to WCW days, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Him and the cover bun go all the way back to then.
The cover buns are gone. The cover bun, I keep trying to get him to do it again. He won't do it again. but no, it's incredible how much he's seen. And if I'm a young guy in that locker room, like, I'd be picking his brain constantly. Like those veteran guys who've seen. I mean, Penzer's announced them all, man. He had the best seat in the house for some of the most legendary moments in wrestling history. He's seen him rub shoulders with everybody. Like, if I'm a rookie in that locker room, I'm talking to a guy like Penzer. I'm sitting with Penzer. I'm saying, like, hey, what can I do? What stuck out in the heyday? What can I do something? That's who you talk to, man.
Yeah, if you guys aren't already, based on, if you're a listener of ours, I think you already are probably following him on Twitter. But obviously his podcast,
it's
great stuff. Listen to that. But yeah, he even puts up, as you're saying, the rubbing shoulders, not just wrestlers. He puts up his throwback photos all the time.
I love it.
With just the biggest celebrities in the business all the time.
I love it. I asked him about that. And he said he'd go to those conferences, like the TV, the licensing conferences, and you just walk around and meet these guys, these celebrities and stuff, and just take pictures. And but what a valuable asset to have in your company. I mean, his podcast, Bill, Sitting Ringside, is a great podcast. It's literally just like hanging, like you're a fly on the wall. These two guys are having a conversation. That's literally what it feels like, and I love that part about it. It's great stuff. And he interviews people that traditionally aren't on all, like, you know, some of the more like who make the podcast loops of, like, you know, they do all the different shows. Like, you'll have like somebody, it's like he had Crowbar on once, and it was great to hear Crowbar. I was like, oh, I love Crowbar, you know, like nobody's interviewing Crowbar. I'd love to listen to Crowbar, things like that. Just check out Sitting Ringside for sure, guys. But no, we missed it. But no, Jay, you brought the throwback match on this one. Was a gem you asked me about. What do we have? Set this one up here.
The classic this week is Bound for Glory 2008 out of Chicago, Illinois.
I was there.
And this is interesting. This is at the Sears Center, and I was actually there for All In.
That's right. Same venue.
And I was like, because I was like, man, this looks like a big, because I was, you know, my first thought was it was where you saw last year's, but I was like, no, wait, this is bigger. And so I looked it up right before we went live, and it said Sears Center, and I was like, yeah, there we go. That's why it looks familiar. So, but yeah, it's this one's a barn burner. In fact, there's some highlights that get thrown around quite a bit out of this one. So you got Beer Money, Storm and Rude with Jacqueline in tow coming down. This is a 4-way tag team match. Just absolutely dust. So you got Matt Morgan tag teaming with Abyss. Interesting thing about Abyss, he was in therapy and was told he couldn't use weapons.
This is the Dr. Stevie era, Bill.
How
this?
How ass
Dr.
backwards
Stevie,
is that? Yeah. So he's teaming with the 7-foot Matt Morgan. Man, it was great to see him.
The DNA of TNA. That's what they call it.
Yeah, man. Team 3.
Look at that. Little Stevie Ritt. Dr. Stevie signed on.
Oh, there you go.
No, this was when they pulled this as a Slammiversary. So that was just a pulled card. No autograph. I might have to run in the Dr. Stevie and get an autograph.
Nice.
They pulled They pulled those out of the vault, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Team 3D in this one, along with the classic. Oh, pardon me. LAX, Homicide, and Hernandez.
Oh, he's a suspect.
There? He's a suspect. He was dressed as a taco. He's a suspect.
Oh my God. Hey, for Taco Tuesday.
That's right. There it is. I was at Bound for Glory 2008. This is the match that the famous shot of Abyss, correct? Where he's getting thrown off the stage through a flaming table.
The flaming table, yes. Johnny Devine even comes out there with some stuff and helps set that up.
This is Abyss. Chris told me one time personally, it's the hardest bump he ever took in his entire life. He said it was the most pain. I said, all the shit you've taken. The things I've seen go through your body, through you off of, that's the hardest one. He goes, to this day, I can feel it. I was like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, and he was on fire, and they put him out, and he wasn't put out. They had to quick run around the hot mess there, and put him out again. He was on fire for a good about 20 seconds, and then he just rolled underneath the curtain there, and I don't think he came back for the rest of the match. He was done.
I was sitting on that side, so like, if this is the shot, let's say, like, I was basically at an angle from where the flaming table happened. So I was closer to the table spot. Like, the ring to me was like diagonal. So I was closer to the table, and it was just, you felt the heat of it. That's how close I was. It was, but what a great weekend.
That was, yeah.
I'll never forget 2008 Bound for Glory, the Fan Fest, where my cousin, who came from Phoenix to join me on that, was so excited to meet X Division champion Sean Daivari at the time. Which I recently told the story to Daivari, and he felt horrible, but I said, don't feel bad. My cousin's a dick anyway. But my cousin was so excited to meet him. Oh my God, Sean Daivari, it's so nice to meet you. And he knocked his belt off the table by accident.
Oh.
And Daivari's like, dude, my fucking belt. And he's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So I told Davari about
What a
this recently.
spaz.
I told Davari about this recently, and he's like, no, I feel so bad. He goes, tell him I'm sorry. I was, fuck him. He's an asshole anyway. He goes, no, that's terrible. I feel like an asshole now. I'm like, nah, it was 12 years ago. You should. I'm like, fuck that guy. Like, oh my God. I'll never forget Davari's going, dude, my fucking belt.
That is too funny.
This is also the Fan Fest, guys, where me, Trent, Mr. Cool guy, Bill, Mr. Cool that tries to act like the coolest guy in the room. This is your friend, guys, who went up to Sting after being a fan for 20 years at this point, right?
Icon.
The icon Sting, 20-year fan of Sting at this point. I went to Sting for Halloween every year for a decade nearly. You know, this is the guy. I waited for this moment. Didn't get a picture either, but I waited for this moment. Went up to him, and he goes, how you doing, buddy? And I shook his hand, and all I can muster up, 20 years to meet my hero right here, right? All I can muster up to say was, I've been a little stinger for 20 years, man.
A little stinger. Trent, little stinger Zuberi.
That's what it was. And he's looking at me. I'm a 28-year-old man at this point, Bill. He's looking at me going, that's great, man. I'm like, what the fuck did I just say to Sting?
Pathetic.
Yeah, this is horrible.
You got a double shot there.
Oh, God. It was, to this day, one of my best, one of my finest moments, I guess. But 08 was a great bound. It was, you know, it wasn't some crazy. The undercard was a little wonky on my 08's Bound for Glory, but it has very special moments. It was like a very 08 was like, man, the year they fucking they were really gelling. I mean, at the Sears Center, biggest gate at the Platte at that point. This was such a critical year. 09 to me was that year where they started gelling, and 10 is where it kind of got derailed when things changed with the Hogan stuff. But 08 was like, we're fucking here. Like it was. I remember Samoa Joe coming in. You could probably see, if you're watching the match now, Jay, if you want to go back and watch this, you see Joe come into the ring because he's defending champion at the time, and he does like a take of the audience, and he just looks at it and goes, wow, like we did this. You know, it was like such a cool feeling. You could see, like, you just saw it. And I loved 08, man. It's a special moment for me. 2008's Bound for Glory was my first one, and I was so happy to be there. It was such an exciting time. So great match. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, well, if they ever showed 2011, I might have to go over some of my stories because that's when I met Sting.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Okay. Nice. Well,
I don't remember. I don't remember telling him if I was a little stinger or not. I don't think I did.
I hope you didn't.
I think that missed our conversation.
Shit.
Although
man.
I was quite. I remember the first sign I made, and I've never been a sign guy, but I made a sign to see like Surfer Sting error at the Philadelphia Civic Center.
Oh,
like he was going U.S. title defense against Stunning Steve Austin.
Oh, class.
Great American Bash Tour.
Was it 93? I want to say 93. Does that sound right?
Yeah, 92, 93.
Yeah. This is after he lost the title to Vader, so I think he went and got the U.S. Oh, man. Classic stuff, Bill. Wow. Nice. No, that's cool, man. Sting's one of those guys. If you don't like Sting, I question why. You know, I really question how you cannot like Sting.
Yeah, you gotta like at least one of the formations of Sting.
Something. You gotta like something about Sting. Maybe not so much the WWE years, but whatever. We won't talk about those.
What were they? I don't remember that.
Or the year, I guess, or the half a year, whatever the fuck it was. But
I think some hack hurt him.
Yeah, I think so, right? Jay, who won that one? I can't remember. Who 3D won this match?
No, Beer Money retained. They snuck in last minute and stole it. Nice. And man, there's some crazy spots. You know, like the classic flaming table spot, and then there's also the freaking ref is Mongo McMichael, and he is so, I don't know if he was high, I don't know if he was drunk. but today,
all the above.
Today is everything. Today is yelling. Everybody in the ring, it's especially LAX. I thought LAX was gonna shank a bitch. Man, because he's just walking around.
Oh, he was terrible. I remember this.
Looking at the birdie's over here. Look at that. And there's like a 5-second pin going on, and they're like, Mongo, and they're like hitting the mat. Like, come on. Oh my God. I was cracking up laughing at this.
I remember now that you've mentioned it coming back to me, people in the audience started thinking it was a work. Like it was going to lead to the story somehow because he was so off on the counts. We're like, oh, he's fucking somebody. That's the idea. Like he's clearly going to fuck somebody over. He was already watching people make pins, and he was just like, "Oh shit!"
Oh yeah, Don West is like, "Start the count, Mongo."
It was awful. He was out of it. Speaking of Mongo, we'll tie into Mongo. It's Billy Gunn's birthday today. Kip James from Impact.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah,
Cute Kip.
Sorry, my bad.
Beautiful people. Bring them back with the beautiful people.
Yeah, oh yeah. I actually ran into Kip James at Bongo McMichael's restaurant here in Chicago, the suburbs of Chicago, and he was the nicest fucking wrestler. One of the top 5 nicest ones I've ever met, ever. Great dude. You're gonna get a chance to meet Billy Gunn, 100%. Guy's a class act. If I could share that quick 30-second story, my buddy and I were sitting there having dinner after a show. He walks in because there was an indie show down the street. He walks in. My buddy's told him, like, he's marking out. Billy Gunn, getting a picture. He's like, hey, buddy, let me eat. I got you. Let me just get a little food. I'm starving. Let me just get some food and something to drink. I got you, though. We're sitting there talking. He's eating. He's with somebody. We're done. And I'm like, he's like, oh, he's not done. I'm like, let's just go, man. Let him fucking eat. It's fine. You got to say hi to him. So I'm like, he's like, yeah, right. So we get up to leave. He stops us and goes, guys, where are you going? We're like, oh, I owe you a picture. I go, no, eat your food, man. It's cool. He goes, no, absolutely not. I promise you a picture. You're getting a picture. He gets up from his
that's pretty cool, man.
Class act, man. Takes shit, hits the pose, takes a picture with both of us, signs the autograph. He goes, I'm like, you didn't have to do that, man. He goes, no, I promised you. I told you I was going to do it. And that was like 100% classy move for me, man. So
that's big time. That's big time. And you remember that story.
I'll
like that.
Never forget it.
That's that extra mile.
Now, what year is this? I'm just curious.
This has to be 2000. I want to say 12. By 2012.
Okay.
So was he still an Impact at the time? Beautiful people, probably.
Yeah,
that seems like he probably is. We're very close.
Very close.
I think this is before he. Okay, not to like make it a negative thing, but I think this is before he cleaned up, because both he and BG James cleaned up at like the same time, and then they ended up going to the WWE. But yeah.
This is way before that. So yeah, he looked good though. He looked fine.
He's always looked like $1 million.
Yeah, he's a class act though, man. Looks great. If you have comments, guys, if there's any good comments, I can't control from here, but if you guys want to throw any, but quickly, Jay, what's the recap? The recap match of the week. What do they have on there? It was the tag match.
My buddy HD in the chat is having so much trouble typing. He typed Trent like 1,000 times. It's like
a lot of Trent.
It's like all Trent. He's not spamming. I think he's just having a little trouble tonight. So yeah, HD, take it easy, buddy. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
All right, so we got the North versus the Good Brothers. This is the one that ended in a no contest. It was the last one leading into Bound for Glory weekend.
Yeah, so that's if you haven't seen Bound for Glory yet, get the replay on Fight, but watch this beforehand, kind of get the little hype up for the Good Brothers and North match. So we kind of know where it ends up, but if you need a recap, if you haven't seen the pay-per-view yet, go ahead and get it. What are you laughing at over there, J-Bone? Who's got you laughing?
I'm laughing at HD, and then there's Mark. He throws in a J-Bone.
J-Bone.
It's a laugh. There you go, J-Bone.
All right, let's open it up. We're at the
I'll start early.
Right,
this is more a suggestion for us.
I like
a fantasy league of Impact against one another. Love the smack talk.
How would we do it though? How do you do a wrestling fantasy league? That's the question.
I'm sure they're out there. I guess it would have to be on wins, or it sounds like a little league that does something like that down south. That's pointless. But we could do either like it's based on anything like our last prediction show. Not too good. I think we'll all struggle.
Yeah, we're all fucked. We're all fucked if we do it that way.
You're right.
We could come up with something. If you guys got ideas on how we could do it, You know,
Yeah,
it's
maybe
a little
someone else
tricky.
is something like that.
You know, it could also be like maybe it could be based on things that happen in a match or the way a feud goes or run-ins go. Something to like add another element to it where, you know, you kind of have a little extra criteria. It's not just wins and losses. You have a little extra criteria around it. Kind of like the hard 10 tournament in a way, guys. That's
Hard 10.
Oh, that's a classic.
If you guys aren't watching our throwback show, we're on the 40s, the mid 40s NWA TNA, and we're
I can identify with the mid 40s.
Mid 40s, it was the mid 40s. We're in what's called the Hard 10 tournament, which is a tournament they ran, around this time, like right shy of year one, and it's a point-based hardcore match tournament, and it is so unbelievable to keep track of. We have a blast just talking about it. But if you want to do a hard 10 style TNI Impact Fantasy League, I'm down.
I like it.
I think that could be fun. Let's come up with that. We'll talk about that. December is going to be an interesting month because after November, you got half of December is recap stuff, right? So they film stuff just to put in the can. It's all recaps. So that we're talking to our Patreon around that time. We could do something along for this around that time too. So let's workshop it for sure. What else we got here?
Well, this is going to tie in. I told you guys offline about a discussion I got in over the weekend with a friend of mine, Evan, that goes to a ton of shows.
Okay.
And he was mentioning Impact Plus. And it's interesting, Zach Downing here, who's been joining us, I guess, for the last couple months, but I don't think he normally is in the chat. But he messaged me on Twitter and was asking me about Impact Plus and about, should I give it a shot? Well, like, what do you think? And I said, yeah, definitely do the 30-day trial. But with the monthly specials coming back, the throwbacks we do, you can go in that old library, the indie stuff, good. And then obviously Xplosion, which we're about to do a show for, so hop on in. But one question he did ask is like about the big pay-per-views. He's like, I know they get on there later. It's like, what's that like about how long? I said, it seems like 2 to 3 months normally for the big four, we'll say. But then that gets in that whole discussion. And this is what I was talking about with my friend the other day too. They have a free tier of Impact Plus.
Yes.
Then the $7.99 tier.
Right.
They probably need to create, because of what Up North did, because then like my buddy Dave says it all the time too, they've now given the idea that all pay-per-views should be included in a subscription service. They should probably offer a tier either monthly or annually to include that. Now, if you look at that, that's 4 shows a year at $40 a pop.
Yeah.
You get a discount for doing it, obviously. That amount of discount, I don't know what it should be. I'd say maybe $100 additional over the course of a year.
For the year, okay.
Instead of 180, maybe you get it for 100 if you buy them all and you do like an annual package. I think Ring of Honor may have toyed with that, something similar to that. So maybe that's kind of the middle ground, or maybe a higher increase than that, not retail still, but maybe instead of like half price, you do it at like 75. And if you build it into a monthly charge, so then it gets a little closer, maybe it's like $15 a month or something.
I was gonna say you're around the $15 range, which I do. I would pay $15. There's enough stuff on there to keep
and that's what my friend Evan was saying, is like if they included all them, he'd be willing to pay that.
Yeah.
That's where I think they need the workshop that, because I know a lot of people, I think they're hesitant because Up North has ruined the subscription model on what you could get for companies that do big pay-per-views. The iPay-per-view and stuff like that has killed the idea for many.
Oh, for sure. I don't think 15 is out of the question, because the Fight has a tie-in with Impact Plus. You can log in.
They do.
You can log into your Impact Plus through
and watch
Fight.
Everything. It's the same thing, yeah.
And then you can watch the free tier on Fight. So imagine if you're paying the higher tier, your account's a higher tier, you log in through Fight, you get the pay-per-view. I think it's very doable to just integrate the whole thing. I'd pay 15, no question about it. Like right now, today, you can upgrade me to 15.
Yeah, like they should get a survey out to pretty much a file, maybe put something on Twitter. Be like, what would you do? Would you do this? Would you? Up North, I think, even sent out stuff maybe a year ago. I don't know if they did. I'm not part of that, but I know they were messing around with the whole tier idea.
I heard,
but I don't know where that went. But I think that's definitely something for them. If they really want to push Impact Plus, which we know they do, I think they have to investigate something like that. where you'll still get you're not saying goodbye to the buys on the pay-per-view by doing that, but to incorporate them, hopefully you get more in the end by doing that.
Yeah. Now one thing I know that they recently just upgraded they added more firepower to the Impact Plus servers. So that's maybe a sign that something's coming. Because you guys recall like a week ago or so, a week or two ago, they had a little error that happened. A couple people's accounts got they got a cancellation email by accident or something.
Oh yeah.
I know Dave. He had that problem.
So they were just upgrading. They were upgrading the server. They were putting new servers in. So maybe they're adding more firepower to it. Maybe that could be what's coming up for 21.
Well, they still got a couple years to go as far as like including past years on there. They got like 2008 to 2010 or something like that. Yeah, there's like two or 3 years they still got to throw on there. They've been throwing about a half a year to a year on per year.
You gotta space it out, because if you blow your loads on it, you got giving people any reason to like incentivize them to order. So yeah, I know they're still in the late 2000s, the aughts, I guess you call them, the zeros. The aughts.
Now, obviously, anybody with other questions, throw them in there, because I am taking a look. I know there's some statements and comments, but any questions? This is kind of the open forum. I know there's a couple comments I can highlight until the meantime, but obviously any questions or topics, throw them out there, guys.
While we're waiting for that, let me ask you this: if you guys notice, there's been a lot more digital promo content flying around this last week.
Yes, someone pointed that out. The Swoggle one that got aired today.
Rohit just got one put out just about an hour or two ago. New Rohit one, Swoggle. There was a Luke Gallows one where he's sitting there and he's pissed off at Ethan Page. There's a lot more digital shorts, 30, 45-second shorts, which is what we talked about a while ago. We said, put those little shorts out, film a shit ton of this stuff, and just tease me all week between tapings. Tease me with stuff. Just let me see the guys with fresh stuff on there. But that ties back into this. Put that stuff on Xplosion too. If you don't get to it, put it on Xplosion so we can see it here.
There you go.
No, I've been seeing more of that lately. That's been a nice little bump for the social media.
And that helps everybody. It gives them a chance to shine in that, and especially for newcomers like Tasha Steelz with Kiera Hogan, Kiera, and it's just great. It gives them a chance to bounce off each other, react to whatever, it just
storytelling. Give me more storytelling. The more you can do, it's never going to hurt. It's never going to hurt the product if they have more storytelling out there.
No, it builds charisma, adds character. You get to know them. Like, what makes them tick? Why are they doing this? Oh,
This is a great question by Critical Sting here. This is kind of that. Okay, so there was what's considered the very hard year, the post Hogan pre-Anthem era, which was a very tough, or I should say, critical year, because you were left holding a lot. Spike was going away, and there was a lot happening in this time. I'm gonna say who are the unsung heroes of that time. Let me throw a couple out first. Bill, you throw a few out. Jay, we'll come back around even. I'm going to say EC3 was a very big highlight of that time.
Yeah.
Because he was a star created by us. It was like by us, and it's like he's a new guy, really holding it together, like really showing that there's things can happen. During that time. Another guy, like him or not, Austin Aries was a great member of that period too. He was a very go-to guy during that time.
Can
I take yours? Austin Aries was a very important guy during that time too, man. But you know what? Let me throw two more at you. Storm and Rude too. James Storm.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Beer Money. If you want to add on to that, he was still there, but not as long. Like EY, like he was near the end of his era there, but definitely EY.
Yeah.
And then I got to give it two guys that went up north, Lashley and Galloway.
Big time.
They helped carry it for a while. 2015
and 16. Lashley Galloway and two of J-Bone's favorites here too. No, nothing to take away from the Wolves either. Eddie and Davey at that point too were.
Yeah, they were doing great stuff with the Hardys and Team 3D still.
And then let's give the Hardys a shout too there. I mean, because the Broken era put Impact back into like people were like, now they're down for the count. But that Broken thing got so much buzz that it was like, fuck, that
started a lot of water cooler talk, as they like to call it.
It did. There's a good amount, guys. That Destination America.
There's a lot like
TV.
Dixie Carter.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good one.
Josh Matthews, like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys.
Yeah, Enrico, that I agree. Josh is an unsung hero.
C3.
Yeah.
Lashley.
Talk about a guy, Josh Matthews. How many hats he wore at that point? Like his commentary or not, he's a guy who really came in and took a lot of control, man. He JB was there too. I'm not gonna say JB wasn't doing his part, but Josh did a lot. Dixie holding it all together somehow. Gail Kim being a leader for the women. Who are some of the women who were really featured around this time? I'm trying to remember who some of the knockouts were.
We got Tara and Brooke Tessmacher.
Oh yeah,
I think the beautiful people
were. As some other company would like to say, the demos were very high when they were on TV.
Highest rated segments usually those two.
those pigeons, I tell you.
Pigeons bring ratings, J-Bo.
That's true, man.
TV 101.
That's true, man. No, it was
Taryn Tyrell as well. Taryn Tyrell, who obviously I did not expect much when Taryn Tyrell.
Oh, me either.
Entered. When she started as the referee and stuff, I did not see that coming for her to be like right at the top of the division in performance.
Ultra heel. Unbelievable heel. Short run though. Like she in and out. Like when she was done, she was done.
She came back briefly again. Very and then but it's
But she started a family. I follow her on Instagram. She's she's a mom now. She runs marathons and does her fitness stuff, but she's out of wrestling. But she was one. I'm with you, Bill. When she has a referee, I was kind of cool. They got a girl referee. They tried the same to Tracy Brooks at one point too. J-Bone, my favorite Tracy Brooks, as you know. But when she started leading the Dollhouse, I'm like, who is this untapped like hidden gem of a promo, man? She was great. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah.
Any more? Yeah. I mean, we can go on. This list could be significant. Madison's another one. Madison for sure. Decay. Oh my God.
Along with Mia. Well, Jade with the Dollhouse back then.
Oh yeah.
Decay was around the Broken time too. So you had like that. Those guys were really starting to. They were trying some new shit, and they can never take it away, man. It was awesome. It was awesome stuff around that time.
Trevor. I was a big Trevor fan.
And that was when I really started paying attention again. Was around that time. I mean, it knocked whatever Corgan for trying to be innovative and what he's doing now completely out of besides the point. But yeah, I mean, shoot, he brought in one of my old favorite hip hop metal bands. Crazy Town is the theme song of Impact. I was like, man, that made me excited. That hyped me up.
I forgot about that.
That was when I started watching again. So yeah.
Anyone else on name for you, J-Bone? Anyone else?
Oh yeah, I mean the top of my list there was going to be someone like Aries, who really, who started the whole what is that called? Option C. I mean that really blew that up, and it made the X Division a big picture thing. Like okay, this guy's doing this, but and it started other discussions like, okay, but could we see him cashing that in down the road? It always, depending on who held it and what time of year it was, started those kind of discussions. So yeah,
if we get Destination X next year, who knows? Rohit,
man, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome where it goes, man. But no, it's Hakeem, that's a great list for you to put together. Some unsung heroes of the Destination America and Pop TV eras would be very interesting. Which I still say was Destination America was a great time. I love the Destination America shows. Those were a lot of fun. If you haven't seen those, I highly recommend go back watch them.
Yeah.
We got a question from Gary. Is Gary's Rules Impact on
yes,
Twitter?
Rules Impact, yes.
Gary, what the hell, man? You don't take the free code, the Fight TV AEW show. You don't get back to us in time. And then I tell you what, he's like, oh, I'm too late. I said, no, the show hasn't started yet. I'm working the show. I'm texting Gary, take the fucking code. And he's like, I didn't see the message. And I was like, Jesus Christ, Gary. Could have been somebody else. How about this? Anybody who wants it, I have one more code for the AEW show. Gary didn't end up getting it. So if anybody wants to watch it,
go back and watch it. There you go.
There you go.
There's some
so watch that if you get it. Then watch Smash's podcast for the review after.
Do that.
There you go.
Do that. DM me if you want. First person to DM me, I'll give you the code. How about that?
Slide in the Trent's DM.
Slide the Trent if you want a code to watch the AEW show, Fight TV. So you have the Fight TV app. I'll give you the code. So go ahead and first person.
Look at this. And subscribe to our YouTube page.
Yeah, please do that too.
If you haven't.
Which thank you for all the new people who have. It's been a great month, guys. Thank you. We got a question from Gary. Should Impact have two separate top 5 contenders for the Impact World Championship and the TNA title, or eventually merge them together? Let me kick this one off. The TNA title, I don't think is there to stay. That it's purely storyline with Moose. I don't think you start getting into contenders for it. It gets muddy. However, let me put the asterisk on there, Bill. If you turn this into the spin-off show, or
that's where I was going with it.
I'm okay with it. But
if it becomes a new mid-card title, I don't want TNA title being the mid-card title.
Yeah.
I think we got to go, and I know we were talking about before, like at this point, I don't think you can go Access anymore.
No.
I'd love if you could call it Twitch, the Twitch title, which has a history.
House Hardcore, yeah.
But I don't know if Access TV would be thrilled with that.
Yeah. No, my thing is, you can't call it TNA title. You can't. It can't be your mid card title because the current Impact Championship that Rich Swann is holding is lineaged off the TNA belt. So you can't just simply say, well, this is another title. It doesn't make any sense.
Slide into those DMs, Global HD.
Hey, first person to get in my DMs, you got it. So let me know. But you know what I mean? Bill, like the Impact title that Rich Swann has is lineaged off that TNA title.
It is lineaged off it. I think if they did create another show, as you said, and it was total nonstop action Thursday nights,
it's got to be called the TNA something else. TNA champion. It's got to be something else. It can't be the TNA Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. You'd have to tell me a good story how to do it. How about that?
But at some point, if you did it that way, it probably still would merge at some point.
You gotta merge. I mean, I don't know. Like it's the same title.
Well, here's a good idea by Larry.
TNA title
used like the NWA title, defended other promotions, which
that's interesting.
Aries, Galloway, they were doing that with the title. I like that. Bobby Roode did that with the title. It's AJ not a bad idea.
I love it. I've always been a fan of taking. You're going to call it a world championship. We'll take it around the world. Go other places. Legitimize that. I mean, yeah, we know it's a work, but hey, I love the fact when Galloway was going around taking that belt other places, and AJ did it on a tour on his last world title run. It's kind of cool when you go internationally.
Yeah. It kind of died when a certain machine was dropping matches left and right when he was champion.
Yeah, it did.
I think they kind of got out of the idea of guys traveling with their belt after that.
Yeah, whatever happened to that guy? But J-Mo, that guy's still around? That machine guy still around?
I'm sorry, I was reading something. What's that?
He's got a Wednesday show to think about.
HD here. He's like, ask my question. What question?
What's the question?
Were you looking for a question?
You typed 1,000 Trents. I don't know what your question is.
I love how he capitalized J-Bone just to call you out, man.
All right. So what were you asking?
No, I was saying, is that machine guy still around? The guy who was a machine at one point? He's still doing something? He was our world champion for a little while, so he's still doing anything?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, he's holding another gimmick title just like Moose is. It's freaking hilarious.
This was a rhetorical question, but anyway, hey, whatever. But what else we got? Any other questions? What where's Global's question? He's yelling at you to answer his question.
I think he was talking about something AAW versus the company down south.
Oh,
something I see.
He said something about AAW versus AEW would be good, but I don't
know. I mean, you're talking
if
about.
If anything, you got to say AAW versus Impact. Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, what are we going to do? We're an independent, against those guys. What are we going to do? They took half the guys we work with anyway. What the hell are we going to do there? But that's two different worlds altogether. Impact. I'd love to see the company work with Impact. There is history. Danny Daniels, who, if you're an ECW fan, you might know Danny Daniels. He wrestled in ECW, and he was the evil referee, and he started wrestling. He's the owner of AAW, and
he's the ultimate gem in the collection if we ever find it.
He is. And he's Xplosion. I think it was number 26. I told Kevin Martin which episode it was. But he's there. I do want to see the man. He says he has it on VHS. I have to go to his house and pull it up. But I'd love to see it. But him and Scott D'Amore go back. Danny wrestled for Scott at BCW for years. He wrestled Johnny Bravo many years ago. So our company has history with Impact, and there's a lineage there. So we'll see. Hakeem, who was the best authority figure in Impact Wrestling, and who was the worst? Oh. This is a good one. Shit. Bill, you want to start this one off?
I'll go with the worst. The guy that I just think is the worst, period. And that is Pritchard.
Oh, my God. Awful. That Pritchard air. Oh, my God. I'm going to second that.
That was the only time that I literally just totally booed somebody at Impact with just get out of here. You're horrible.
That's terrible. That Pritchard thing was awful.
If he stuck around more, I worry. If anyone could attest my love of Impact, it was Bruce Pritchard.
You know who I love?
The guy, for somehow the people still give him jobs. I assume he has pictures on people. I don't know. The guy's a total buffoon, idiot, moron. I don't know how he does anything. I'm surprised he walks upright, but that's about
it. Bill's shooting here, J-Bone. Look at this, huh? Shots fired.
It makes me good when I can rub off on someone like that. It makes me feel good.
Hit the soundbite. That deserved a soundbite. Somebody hit the soundbite because that earned it. 100%. 100%, Bill. That was a good one. I agree. I'm going to second that. He was the worst. Dirt worst, as my friend Nate Speckman would say. The dirt worst. That, though, Bill, before you answer yours, I got to put it out there. Bullet Bob Armstrong from the old TNA days.
Oh, yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, Bullet Bob was great. Bullet Bob was great.
Jay, the line that sticks out to me with Bullet. Woman, I got a wife at home that nags me less than you do. God damn it.
That was hilarious. I love that.
Oh, God. The best. I'm going Bullet. Bill, who's your favorite? Best authority figure.
Best authority figure. That's tough. I do like the Bullet Bob for early. That's very good. I'll tell you what. I'm always, and she went between face and heel, obviously, but I'm always going to have a soft spot for Dixie.
I knew you were going to say it because I was thinking it too. I felt it. There was something great.
Like heel Dixie, the run up to the table spot was good.
Yeah.
But heel Dixie, like the Dixie Land, not great. But her just as the face, the figure when she was it, I think she was pretty good at it. I was a fan of it. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I did enjoy it.
It wasn't bad. Jay, you got one?
Yeah, I'm gonna say. There's so many. I'll say the controversial one that I was excited about when it first happened, and it fizzled out pretty quick. Was when Hogan came in.
Started off great. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
With the hype, at least. With the hype.
Right. I was like, I grew up Hogan. Okay, just forget what everybody's talking about. All the nonsense now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when he came in. It was exciting. I grew up on him, and then he brought in over half the people he brought in, like the Nasty Boys, could barely walk. That was embarrassing, and there was a few others, but it was like the comeback of Jeff Hardy. It was hot at the time. Shannon Moore I was excited about. I think Austin Aries came back at that time too. So yeah, I was excited about that, and this is still not too much longer after Actually, it's a lot after the whole NWO thing. But anyways, my Steiner math is a little off. No, I guess I was going to say what I was probably more excited for, honestly, is when I started watching the brand in 2005 on FS. What was that? FS1, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was like the Russo versus Dusty Rhodes feud on who was going to take over at the time.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And I love Dusty he'd be sitting out back, the back alley. He wouldn't even come in the building. He'd sit in the back of the truck with his hose, and he would just look at the paper and be like, yeah, this is what we're doing today, Daddy. And oh man, I loved it.
That's a good one too.
Bubba the Love Sponge. Oh my God, that was terrible.
But they are right in that same era. Bischoff was not bad in Impact.
Not bad. He was not. He worked. He gave it. Forget behind the scenes. On camera,
yeah,
Bischoff did okay.
Oh sure.
Even like Cornette or not, I agree with somebody said Cornette. Cornette was a good authority figure. He had a lot of good stuff too.
For the Knockouts division, I loved Maria.
Oh, I love Maria. Oh, I'm all for Maria. She was fantastic.
I'd bring her back for that role.
Hey, Karen Jarrett was okay for the Knockouts. She was kind of a shithead with the Knockouts. I didn't.
Well, yeah, I would definitely prefer Karen Jarrett over Jeff.
Yeah, no shit.
And a lot of love, and I obviously I did not say him because he's so current, but obviously Scott D'Amore is fantastic.
He's great. You know what?
I love Scott D'Amore.
Mir, good call, because Scott is doing a fantastic job as the authority figure right now. It's like an unofficial because he just blended into this in the last month.
He did. He really did just blend into it out of nowhere. He was obviously behind the scenes, but on camera, he's been all over it lately, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah,
it's like since the summer, basically.
We've gone like 2 years with we knew who the new authority figures were. They just refused to come on camera, and everything was just done in the ring and backstage and whatever, without them being around at all.
Yeah.
So I mean,
honestly, the pandemic may have forced their hand, Jay.
I think you're right.
Well, to just shake things up a little bit, and I know that Scott D'Amore is loved, Coach. People still call him Coach D'Amore. From back in the old, Canada days, but yeah, it's why not? It's been a few years, and you might as long as he's good at it, he fits. He just fits. He just gels right in there.
I know who agrees with that. Kevin Martin agrees.
I am tired. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, tired.
He is. Hi, tired. I'm Trent. No, Kevin Martin. Hey, our boy Kevin Martin, one of the hardest working guys on the scene. I saw firsthand, my friend. Firsthand, I can attest to this. That man works his ass off, and he loves his Waffle House, right, Kevin Martin? Your Waffle House is
everybody loves Waffle House. Well, if you have it near you, not everybody's got it.
That's true. If you do, let's get one more in there, Bill. Give me one more question, and we'll call it.
All right, hold on.
Sunday night, we want to get everybody getting started on their week here. What else we got here? What else we want to talk about? One more open forum question. It could be about J-Bone's personal life, maybe some of his demons. We could open that can of worms. J-Bone, I saw Trekkers and rallies yesterday. I thought about you. I was going somewhere with the nurse, and we went out. And I said, "Look at that! We got a fucking Checkers here. How about that?" In Elgin, Illinois, J-Bone. Elgin, Illinois. You ever been to Elgin? Yeah, there's a Checkers there. So if you want to go to a Checkers, that's where you have to be.
It's not that it's not that far away, but let's just say I really don't want to drive into Milwaukee anytime soon. It's
you know what? Here we go. We let's go with Elijah. We haven't talked about these guys much lately, due to what's been going on with them. Not a lot of wins. Kind of getting tossed in the so it's worth bringing this question up. See what people think. Do you think the Rascals need a new gimmick to get them to the top, or what will you do if Rascals get a victory like an underdog storyline?
I think you need something where, I think you gotta break them up at this point. I think that's what my only thing I would do. If you're not going titles with them, you got to break them up.
And it seemed like they were teasing Trey breaking up with them.
Yeah.
Even at times, it seemed like they may have been teasing Wentz and Dez kind of breaking up. But then in the end, they always wind up back together. That was maybe just like with the never pulling the trigger on the tag titles last year, never pulling the trigger on breaking them up may have been a mistake.
True, because Trey wasn't the main event of Slammiversary. You know, that's out of nowhere. Like he got into that spot. He went there, and yeah, Wentz had a couple of solo matches. You know, Dez we know was there beforehand. I think you go back to that. You go back to the Rascals, go solo, see how they pan out. Shit, maybe do a friendly rivalry with two of them. You know, never know. You know, where they end up in a tournament final or something. Who knows?
Well, and what's interesting is, you know, there's all these little segments last week of all these people starting to surround Rich Swann as the new champ.
Yeah.
You got this guy coming at him. You got that guy coming at him. And then he was hanging out with the Rascals. But then I was looking at this like, okay, you got all these people coming at you. Can you trust them? Are they going to turn on you? Are they going to go back up someone else that's coming after you? That was the first thing in my head. I'm like, oh man, it's all guns blazing now, man.
That's interesting. Yeah, listen, good element, Jay.
Yeah, not a bad idea. That's pretty good.
Good element. I like that, man.
Although,
which obviously would lead to like a heel turn because everybody loves, you know, the treehouse.
Yeah. Like our buddy Dave, he loves the treehouse. I know Mark loves the treehouse.
Mark loves the treehouse. Mark has his own treehouse, and I think it's actually a tree because sometimes we patch Mark in late night on these shows. He's been outside. I think he just got out of the treehouse.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, Jay, but that's Dave from the treehouse right there at the show over the weekend, rocking his Smash That Pod. Smash His Podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
From the treehouse
about.
to the smashing of the podcast.
Send that to
J-Bone. Man.
J-Bone, post that up on your social somewhere. Give that a shout. Give that a shout on your social.
But now, what show was that?
That was H2O, the last extravaganza.
Get on that.
Night one. That was the Tremont match we talked about, his retirement match.
Were there any clips of that, like on the
There is. I think because it was on that IWTV, so they were posting a lot of GIFs. So I got to take a look because it's right in the center hard cam, most of it from a distance, but probably a close-up shot of them.
Yeah,
I'll take a look to see what's out there.
If you find it, let me know.
Nice. Well, cool. Let's wrap it, guys. For about an hour. It's a perfect amount of time for the Sunday show. Let's East Coast folks. It's already tomorrow, so let's go ahead and wrap this up here, guys. So so that was it. That's the open forum. That's a lot of fun. Good questions today, guys. Good engagement questions today, guys. Talking. It was a fun one. So let's get our plugs in here, Jay. Speaking of Smash This Podcast, where can they find you? We're gonna get one of those T-shirts. It's a hell of a time there. That worked out pretty good.
Oh, yeah. You can find Smash This Podcast over on the YouTube and the newly affiliated Twitch. Go over there, give it some love. Give it some love. Give it a sub. Throw some bits. I'm doing that a few days a week now, all in between the TNI over here. You can find Smash This Podcast over on the Facebox, the Instanet, and on the Twitter box. And you can find me on the Twitter box right here at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150.
I love Instanet. I'll never get bored of
Instanet. It's up there, man.
Instanet. All right, Bill, plug your store. Where can they find you, man?
You can find me on the Twitter and the Instagram and my name at William M. Gardner, GARDNER. And this Tuesday, see you for the watch along on the Twitch, 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
We'll hopefully have the picture worked out by then.
Yeah,
hopefully.
we will have it. We will have it worked out.
Either way, we're going to be in there. The room will be open. Come hang out.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, the room's open. No matter what.
So make sure you vote on Tuesday if you're in the U.S.
Yes.
And then, or if you haven't already voted early, but make sure you vote. Civic duty.
Get your votes in.
Your duty. And then watch Impact.
Here's the part that works. By the time Impact starts is when the polls close. So you can go
perfect
vote.
timing.
Perfect timing. Go back and get her on Access TV, goddammit, and watch it there. So guys, you can get me at Tredsberry over on Twitter and HEMI Music over on Twitter and Instagram. Give the band a follow, support us as well. The show, all audio platforms: Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, GeoSav, and Pandora. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, rate it 5 stars, guys. Get us seen as much as possible. The numbers on audio are insane. Insane. I was telling these guys today, I couldn't believe what our audio numbers are. So if you're an audio listener, I'd love to hear from you. I know our video, I love you guys on the live show. But if you're watching this after the fact on audio, get a hold of us. I'd love to know where you're watching from. So let us know. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at We Talk Impact, or just type in Total Nonstop Impact. It comes right up. Connect with us there. ProWrestlingTees.com/Total Nonstop Impact. Get your t-shirts. Twitch.tv/Total Nonstop Impact. And connect with us. Cheer bits. Subscribe. Get all in there, guys. Anything you can subscribe to. YouTube. Total Nonstop Impact on YouTube. Get on there. Subscribe to us. We've had a killer month. October was a record-setting month. Let's do that again in November. Let's beat it. Close out the year heavy. So, all right, guys. We'll be back on Tuesday night. Like Bill said, watch along during Impact on Access TV. Then the flagship show, Total Nonstop Impact. 30 minutes after Impact ends. We're going to do it right after Aftershock. Twitch, YouTube, simulcast. Get on there. It is the show to watch. And, you might walk away with a free sub thanks to some of our amazing Twitch gang. So get in there, guys. Discord, also Discord link in the description. New video
for the gang.
Bang for the gang. New Bison and Joe video up there breaking down Bound for Glory, British style, with a little UK flair to it. Check it out. It's on
and they got a new shirt on the PWT store.
They do. Bison and Joe have their own shirt now on the PWT store. Go check that out, guys. Okay?
Hell yeah, man. Give those UK guys some love.
Yeah, definitely do it, guys. So check out their BFG review. It's a nice little take. They have a different take sometimes. Things look differently across the pond. Check it out. But J-Bo, cue that outro. We're going to get out of here, guys. Everybody, have a wonderful week. Give us a follow. We'll see you Tuesday night. Definitely join us for the watch along, and then the flagship show, Total Nonstop Impact. Guys, have a great rest of your day, rest of your week. Hope you're having a good weekend. We will talk to you Tuesday night. Good night, everybody.
Find me the name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John Capital letter E period Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact. His mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals. And you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.